Hello everybody, this is Lodge, and today I'm going to be talking about my first thoughts and impressions about the demo of Cris Tales that is out now on pretty much everything. And I was looking up when it was released, and it turns out it was released like a year ago, so I somehow missed out on all that. Though I did just kind of recently learn about this game, and it's coming out soon, July 20th, 2021 to be exact. And like every game I do first thoughts on, if you want to check out this demo, you can download it for free now on a lot of the current and last gen consoles. So you should play it if you want to experience it for yourself. Anyway, let's get into the video. So the game starts with an animated opening to get you into the feel of the game, and I already am really liking the character design, style, music, and overall feel of this game just from the first 40 seconds of starting it up. Then we start the demo and we jump right into a fight. And this fight seems like it will not be the exact start of the story. More on that in a second. And here we learn the basics of fighting. So when you choose which enemy to attack, if you're able to press A right when your character actually hits the enemy, it will do a lot more damage. You can do a similar thing when the opponent attacks you to decrease damage by blocking. And I thought this was super similar to those older Paper Marios and Mario & Luigi games, when you have to be actively participating in the battles to actually do well. You can't just keep mashing A or just like not paying attention until it's your turn. But anyway, after hearing this frog's explanation of how to fight, we get into slashing through goblin soldiers. Oh my gosh, this might actually be a first thoughts video where the enemies do not have these weird names. But I guess there are still some weird names later in the actual game. After killing the goblin, we get this cool battle end screen. We'll talk about more later, but I am honestly really liking the art style of this game already. Then we are thrown to another battle, this time with goblins on both sides and a new character, one with a huge shield that actually drops in and is a new party member. Both characters exchange names. Actually, this character Christopher asks, then when Christopher answers, he just cuts her off. Like, you asked her. Why'd you even ask? Then we get right into fighting, and Christopher plays the exact same as Crispell, except he has a water attack, and I think it's basically like Magic and other RPGs. Oh, and I think since there are much more than two characters in the fight, time to talk about the turn order at the top of the screen. Seems like Trails of Cold Steel, where you can see who will be next, and if it doesn't exactly go in the exact order, like it's not Crispell, Christopher, enemy, so you can plan on what to do while also knowing when you get to do it again. But anyway, we defeat both goblins, and then we have to fight these two women, Volcano and Galley. Okay, maybe here are where the weird names start. I'd have to say, I really like their designs, and then the little talks they have with each other, since this is pretty much all we're going to see in them in the demo. And as we try to attack them, they are able to block all of our attacks with the shield. Even doing some water magic does nothing to them. Then the frog says use crystals, and then we do a flashback? Okay, maybe not a flashback, but we get to go back to the start of the game and see the name of the game. Here, I realize the name of the game, Cris Tales, sounds a whole lot like crystals. Coincidence? I think not. But anyway, we get a little introduction to the town of the demo, Narum Town. And I think it looks super cute. It really reminds me of Super Paper Mario when you go into like 3D mode. And we officially meet our main character for this game, Crispell. And then the frog from before with the top hat just steals a rose from the garden. And turns out that rose was very important for some reason, and we need to find the rose to give this to Mother Superior, who I think is like this orphanage's caretaker? But after talking to a few other girls picking flowers, we go off to find the rose-stealing frog. We get some information that the frog is near the mayor's estate, and we head south, and we see the mayor looking honestly pretty cool, and talking with a farmer and some sort of secretary. With this conversation, it seems like we get some exposition about some characters and their conflicts in the main game that will most likely appear later. Anyway, Miss Lana does not know anything about the frog, then we see the frog just like hop away to the farms, and he was not there before. So we chase him down and talk to the farmer's daughter, Polly. We get honestly some more exposition from Polly about the goddess of the world and how much the farmer doesn't trust the mayor. I can see this being a major conflict in the future. I mean, they just keep pushing and pushing on this. But anyway, we see the frog just hop away again, and this time we go to the cathedral. We get this cutscene of Crispell walking in there with the frog just smirking, and then we walk up to grab the rose. Then another cutscene happens where some stained glass of a woman throughout her years becomes a triangle of only the present woman, and then the Crispell gets a vision of Narum on fire. Then the frog actually talks and says that Crispell opened the crystals of time, and after a little bit of freaking out of a frog talking, I mean, I guess it could be normal in this world, we find out that the frog's name is Matthias. And turns out he's been watching us since he thinks Crispell could have been chosen for something. Now we get to learn about Crispell's actual powers from someone in the woods. And before we get there, we have this triangle on the screen that honestly kind of annoyed me at first. But oh well, it kind of fades in the background later. As we walk through the forest, we find an old hut with a boy named Wilhelm. Learn that he is another chosen, or as we now know, a time mage. And even though he seems to be a really powerful time mage, he has not done what Cris has done in opening both crystals of time. And I don't know exactly what that means, but oh well. We learn that Cris has the power to see possibility, which, if you've played the original Xenoblade Chronicles, is where you can see a future that could happen if everything goes the way without any real interference. And we get a cool demonstration of this by playing a scene and seeing it in the future of growing into a tree if Cris actually takes care of it. Now, I didn't realize this at first, but inside the triangle of the screen is the actual present of the game, and the left is the past, and the right is the future. So it's interesting to see how different things will be affected in the future and how they were in the past. And now we go back to the village and see that the orphanage is gone in the future. I'm not sure, but it really looks like the children are gone, but nothing exactly seems out of place. Oh well, we give Mother Superior the rose we were looking for, and tell her about Matthias, but he is gone before we can actually introduce him. He left because he's not want to scare her by being a talking frog, which is honestly very smart. And we look around town to get maybe an understanding of why the orphanage was abandoned and empty in the future. And we go back near the mayor's estate and we see that the apothecary and the mother and child's house will be destroyed in the near future. Obviously, Cris does not want this to happen, so she will try to change this future. After some investigation, we learn that it's probably ash blight, but the carpenter doesn't have any of the materials to actually fix it. Of course, we have to do everything here so we can go back to the apothecary, and we have to get some labels back onto these mushroom jars, because of course they look the same, but one is deadly. But we have to do this with the powers of time. Matthias is able to go back to look like a tadpole and figures out which one is which. I gotta say, I love seeing him get older and younger depending on what time you're looking into. Such a cool detail that I am really liking this game for. But anyway, after some more time stuff, we get her mushrooms sorted and have to get a fruit needed to fight ash blight. Matthias goes into the future this time, and we have one cure. Unfortunately, we need two of them to actually save both buildings. And this is where we get our first choice out of hopefully many in the future of the game. I chose to save the apothecary since that is where the medicine comes from. But man, I still feel bad about this mother and child. Maybe the apothecary can make more in the future? Then Cris sees smoke and realizes that the farm is on fire, and then we finally make it back to where the goblins that were there at the start of the demo. Although this time, we have no sword. We have to rush back to Wilhelm since he apparently has a sword that is in this super cool room. And anyway, with a weapon now in hand, we rush back to the farm to do what we can, to do what we did at the start of the demo. But this time, we can send an enemy back in time to make them younger. And I think weaker? But then we fight Volcano and Galley, but this time we wet the shield and send them both forward in time to make the shield rust. This was super cool, and I'm honestly glad that the game is doing stuff like this. When I was playing the game, I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe we can rust it by sending it forward in the future, but having the water actually do that, it's just such a cool idea. I'm honestly just loving this game for doing stuff like this. And when they go into the future, the woman even mentioned that they feel stronger. And it's just like all those little details, like yeah, of course he'll be stronger in the future. I'm really liking this game for that. And anyways, now that the shield is rusted, we can actually hurt the two women. Even though it takes a really long time, like way longer than I thought it would actually need to be, we defeat them and they run away, and now we save the farm. We hear some more conflicts between the farmer and the mayor, and we run away to not get framed for this attack. We go back to the cathedral, and here we learn of the main goal of the game, taking down the Empress of Time. Pretty cool premise, I have to say. And that's the end of the demo. Even if it was short, it only really consisted of like one actual battle. I have to say I really enjoyed my time here. I really love the art style and all the character designs that we have seen so far, and the music is just so good too. And the combat's pretty good, even if it takes a while. And I'm not sure if I did something wrong with finding the boss, but it took so long to actually defeat them. And to block, maybe I was just really mistiming it, but sometimes I could have sworn I blocked and it didn't block. But oh well, I really like the premise of the game, and I think it could really compete with other RPGs today. So why do all my favorite RPGs have something to do with time in some way? Chrono Trigger, Xenoblade Chronicles, Mario & Luigi's Partners in Time, but yeah. Also, I really liked, I don't know if this was on purpose, but I guess it would be on purpose. I thought it was really funny how the two main fighting characters, at least so far, were named Crispell and Christopher. Cris Tales. I don't know. I thought that was funny. But yeah, I think if this demo interests you, you should give it a try and maybe check out the main game that comes out on July 20th of this year. I hope you enjoyed the video, maybe like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day. Goodbye.